why are these cardigans so expensive? I will not compensate anything. She just didn't deliver the boxes. Can you imagine like the level of chaos that we were living in at that time? That time it was like a March, or like, yeah, it was end of the March, like 2015, and we started working as a brand. We made some photo shoot and we started to be noticed somehow. We started to post on social media, and somehow some orders appeared, reacted like children, so like kids literally. So we were like, wow, there is an order, wow, there is another order, like. And it was a surprise for us every time. We were really unprepared, but probably from the outside it already looked like a brand, because we started posting, and our first photo shoot with a kid, with my niece Sophia, it was warmly welcomed by some digital media, and we kept posting on the Instagram, and some people, like friends, shared our pictures, our images and videos. So we started to be present somehow on this market. I mean, by the end of March that year, we already had like 100, like first 100 of followers on the Instagram, and it felt incredibly exciting that I tried to do everything possible in order to make it bigger, to make it sound bigger, so that people would take it more serious. And I printed a lot of sophisticated business cards of MIRSTORES, and I remember posting a lot of coming soons on my account. And I even called myself a creative director of MIRSTORES, even like at that time when MIRSTORES wasn't anything at all. When the first real client wrote to us, I got scared, because it wasn't like a dream anymore. It wasn't something artificial or something that we wanted to achieve. It was real, and it required like responsibility. And I felt that we were not that prepared. And actually, it was true, because we didn't have any payment system integrated to our website, and we didn't have any delivery service. So we had a lot of these discrepancies in the way we positioned ourselves and the way it actually was working back then. The client actually asked us to ship the item. She ordered, like, I believe it was a black cardigan, and she asked us to ship it to Kazakhstan, which was actually close to where we worked, but still it was like not even a different city, but it was a different country. And as we didn't have any experience in shipping the orders, in, I don't know, like packing the box or whatever, so we actually we started brainstorming in panic. We really were in panic. So we were like, oh my god, like, how are we going to do this? Maybe we should look for some delivery companies or whatever. Like, we even considered sending this box to this client with the train. When you come to the railway station and you give this train attendant like this parcel, and you give her some money for the service to passing this item to a different person in a different city, and then when the train arrives, this person would actually come to her rail station in her city and collect this parcel from the very like a specific train seat, and from a very specific person. So, and now I understand how cringe it is and how weird it sounds, and it sounds really not that realistic to me. When now we have this huge system, when we know how to work with the fulfillments, when we work in Dubai, when we send the parcels like to whichever place possible in the world. And so now it seems like extremely childish and naive. But she actually agreed. At some point she agreed to receive the parcel this way. But and this as well drives me crazy now, because I think that I cannot imagine a client who nowadays would be coming to the railway station for collecting the item. Eventually we sent her this item with the Russian post, and it cost like $22, and the item itself cost like $80 that we had these prices that time. You know what? Another funny thing is that she sent us a payment with some service, which is something is like Western Union. If you have one in your city, you probably might know. When like some person, he sends you some money from a different city, from a different country, and you should get to the bank office in person, wait in line like for a long time, and eventually receive the cash. And I think that it's like a lovely detail of that times. And actually, when I told my husband yesterday about this fact that I would be telling about this, he was like, "What? It really happened? I didn't know that. So I didn't actually remember that." And you know what? Nothing about this was actually about business, and nothing about this was a real business model, and it was not actually fashionable. And it's crazy that we worked in fashion and we wanted to build our brand as big as possible, but we managed to work with these types of services which are not connected like at all with fashion. More to that, the whole order system didn't work well. For example, we received all the orders via emails, and each of them required a lot of communications. And of course I did it because there were not enough people, and we didn't have anyone else to do this. So I remember answering all the emails of the clients about sizing, about like whatever, because our product pages did not contain enough information about the product itself. So these product descriptions, which might be the most important, the most important pages in terms of your shopping experience, it was missing. Like it was something that didn't give enough information. And more to that, we didn't have stock. So after the order arrived, we actually had to go and buy some yarns because we didn't have any yarns ready. So we didn't know which order would arrive. And I would go to this DIY store to look for the yarns, and I would buy it at retail price. More to that, so I would buy it at the more expensive price. And it didn't occur to me back then that if I am a company, and potentially if I want to make it, to produce a lot of orders, so I should be working with wholesale prices. And then we would look for the master, the knitter, who would be like free enough to take the piece, to take the order, to be working on it. And it all was so inefficient in terms of production, in terms of the process itself, and it actually was expensive, and it didn't make any sense. Because you know that when it gets to production, you should be counting a lot, and you should understand that if you have like the price which does not make sense to you, then it's better not to put your energy into that. So it's better to go and look for a different option. When it got to delivery within the city, I usually kept delivering the pieces myself for the first month. And I remember getting these branded boxes on MIRSTORES. We had like these big boxes with the logo. As we didn't have an office, they lived somewhere between our lives. And for example, the first boxes order, it arrived to my husband's home, because we thought that it would be a heavy parcel to receive. Like for me, he received it himself, and he assembled the boxes himself and stored them like somewhere on his bookshelves. When we met for the dates with my future husband, he passed me a few boxes just in case some order would arrive. I remember that when I delivered the orders, I used a subway, and I remember standing there in like with a lot of people, and thinking how hard it is. Like, how do other brands do this? Like, it's not possible. Why we have like not 2 orders a day? What if we would have like 10 orders a day? To us it was like impossible to imagine. But we actually, yes, we did think about it. I didn't like what the picture appearing in my mind, that I would be going all the time, like running through the city with these boxes. And it gave me a lot of shame because I thought that, oh my god, no founder, like no one of founders of the brands that I know, of the brands that I admire, no one of them is delivering the boxes himself, and I do. What's wrong with me? And so in a couple of months, I believe it was like May of the same year, so it took us like a few months to understand that it actually doesn't work this way, and that I couldn't keep like delivering myself, so we should work with some company. And instead of searching for an established, a reliable, a big courier company, we actually chose someone like us, like a small company, a small family business, which would be like more safe to us because it would be like the same as of the same size and probably of the same with the same problems. And it was a huge mistake because of what happened of what happened next. And for example, when the order came to us, we wrote the message to this company's boss that please can you send us a courier to collect the parcels, and we sent all the information to deliver them. So, and I remember that one day a girl came to me. She was very young and she had a lot of piercing and tattoos, and she had this like striking look. So I was okay with her, but I had some feeling inside that probably, okay, let's see what happens. But and like by the end of the day, I had received like a lot of like, there were, for example, like 4 orders, and I received like 4 letters, 4 emails from my customers that they hadn't received anything. So I started writing to everybody, like writing emails and calling this guy of this delivery company and this girl. So, and no one responded, and it kept the same for a couple of days. So we didn't know where our orders were, and we didn't know what to do because we didn't have this experience before. So we messaged our clients that please excuse us for this inconvenience and please give us some time to investigate like what happened, and we will get back to you soon. So, and in a couple of days this guy, he appeared. We were like, do you know that, like, what happened to your girl, like where are the boxes, why she hadn't delivered them? And he was like, she hadn't delivered them, I don't know, so I will call her. And we were like, do you understand that in case that you don't find her and our boxes, that we should have some compensation because we were sending the goods from our stock. So, and we gave him the prices of our items. We sent him like the list of the items that were inside, and he was like, why are these cardigans so expensive? I will not receive, like, I will not compensate anything. I even cannot explain the feeling, but I remember that in a couple of hours he wrote us that, oh, you know what? She actually had an exam and she was so unprepared, so she just didn't deliver them. She just didn't deliver the boxes. But she has just passed her exam and she will just do this. I think it was the most stressful and chaotic situation of that time that I might remember. And can you imagine like the level of chaos that we were living in at times? I think that it was obvious that some changes were needed. The most important thing that I understood preparing this episode and going through these emails, and we pretended to be a company, but at the same time this fragile like beginning and this chaotic time with this unprepared stock and chaotic couriers, it was a real beginning. And now understand that we should not undervalue that. So we should be honored of having like had these bad times and having managed to cope with this and to get out of this chaos. This was Katya, and thank you for watching. Don't remember to be kind to yourselves, and see you later. Bye.